Say.
What does it mean to move forward in the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we have so many wrong things in the past?
Different questions. What is the question? I didn't hear properly.
In the Ramazan, in the holy months, holy nights, we are to clean the things that we did wrong in the past. And I'm asking that how we can also how we can move forward in this way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if we have so many wrong things from our past that we're asking to forgive.
Yeah, this is something that we've been speaking about for the past few weeks. It's not just tonight. We're talking about asking for forgiveness because we entered to Barat. We passed Barat. What it means for forgiveness and what's after forgiveness. That's what you're asking, correct? We want to be clean. But so many people, they get clean to become dirty again. Isn't it? So many people, they want clean because they cannot carry that dirtiness anymore. Not because they want to come closer to Allah. Do you understand? Like American way. I'm sorry. They say I'm sorry because there is a conflict there. They don't want that conflict to be there. It's not because they understand what that conflict is and why and who did what. They say, I'm sorry we're having this argument. But do you know what you're fighting about? Do you know what you're arguing about? Is it worth or is it not? So it's just a feeling that you want to get rid of. Whatever it is, whatever feeling we have, whatever questions that we have a role model in front of us. We have 124,000 Sahabe Kiram that are role models in front of us, how they conducted themselves with the Prophet ﷺ. So many of them, they came from backgrounds that they were filled with the wrong actions and wrong intentions, correct? They were burying their dead. I mean, they buried their dead, but they buried their children too, who were alive. They were worshipping idols. They were oppressing the orphans and those without any rights. So many things that they were doing, but when they met the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and when they believed in the Shahadat, then what happened? That is our role model. We are so dirty, we met our Shaykh. We are so dirty, we enter into a clean month that is going to clean us up. You understand? Then what happens? What happened there? The Sahabe Kiram, when they met the Holy Prophet ﷺ, what happened there? They fell in love. They fell in love with the Haqq. They fell in love with the Prophet ﷺ. They fell in love and they put the Prophet to be priority above everything. And that love, it gives you that passion. And that passion, it gives you the motivation to run. Because you cannot have love without running to show that love. There's no such love as love, I'm just going to receive that love. I'm not going to show. Impossible. It does not work that way. You have a love, you want to show that love. They met the Holy Prophet ﷺ, they understood. They see that sun of truth shining. It took away all that darkness. Now, in second Jahiliyyah, they're filled with so much darkness, they go to see the Shaykh. After the Shaykh cleans them up, then they say, goodbye, adios. Now I'm clean, very good, farewell, goodbye. And then they go and they continue with their lives. You understand? So what happens after forgiveness? We spoke about forgiveness, what it really means to ask for forgiveness. So easy for people to throw away terms here and there, tabatun nasuha and all this. But what it means now? Do you really understand? Is it something that you have done wrong, when you pull that tasbih, when you say Astaghfirullah al-Azim wa atubu ilayh, do you understand? So now, you ask for forgiveness. Forgiveness is granted to you. The believer must think. The believer must know what happens after that. In reality, the believer has just to reflect. Just to what? Remember. Because we have all this knowledge in front of us. Even if it's not reading from books or someone telling you, you understand by your intelligence that Allah has given to you. Holy Prophet ﷺ with his Sahabe Kiram, he pulled them out from darkness, and then what happened to them? They walked away from him to say, now I'm going to continue with my life. Now that you've given me light, you've given me truth, you've given me iman, now I can walk away and continue with my life. What did they do? They ran for his sake. They ran for Allah's sake. They gave up everything. Now Allah has put the love for the Prophet. Now no longer they're saying Astaghfirullah because of the love of themselves. You understand? So many, we're still stuck at that level where we say Astaghfirullah because we love ourselves more. Not because we angered Allah, but we don't want to go to hell, because we don't want to be punished. Not because we've really made Allah to be unhappy with us, because our maqsood is to make, our purpose is to make Allah to be pleased with us. If He's not pleased with us, that is the biggest punishment. If He's not pleased with us, even if He puts us into a paradise, that is going to be a hell for us, isn't it? If He's pleased with us, we can be in the middle of a fire. It is a paradise. It is a rose garden. So now, you are forgiven. And Allah is promising to forgive. Then what? Then what? What are you going to do? Sahabe Kiram, one time they look at the Prophet ﷺ was enough to transform them completely. Then what did they do? They said, now you are on top of my head. Now your life is our life. Our lives are sacrificed to you. And they run now to build Islam. For the believer, they are all role models. We must be following in their footsteps. So now in this month of Ramazan, we're asking for forgiveness. Forgiveness for what? Why are we asking forgiveness? Really? Why are we asking for forgiveness? We want to be more clean. Why? To do what? To run after this world again? To run after the pleasures and the treasures, to collect more from this world now that you have more energy, because the cleanness gives you more energy. Now you're going to do that again? I saw this documentary some time ago. They're showing Muslims going to the Hajj. American, Malaysian, they're going to the Hajj, and they're interviewing everyone. And they interview them. Interview one person. It says, what do you want from this Hajj? What do you get from this? It says, to become a better father. Okay. A better worker, a better boss. To be better in my life. To go back to my country and to become a better man, better businessman. I said, then you have not learned. Because we enter into that Haram-i-Sharif, changing our regular clothes into the coffin, into the shroud. We're gathering in the plains of Arafat. Everything is in rehearsal of death. You enter into the Hajj. You enter into that reality where this world is just illusion, and the reality of coming close to your Allah, that you're not going to be bothered by this world anymore and to be attracted to this world anymore. People in the old days, they go to the Hajj with the intention never to come back, to die, isn't it? To be clean, to be taken away. Now, people are going to the Hajj because they want to come back to become better. Then, again, you have a business dealing with Allah. Then you go into Allah, not to go to your Mawla, not to go to the hereafter. You go to Allah to have a better dunya. So now we enter into this month of Ramazan. To ask for forgiveness. Forgiveness, and then what? What were we going to do? What are you going to do now that you are cleaned? Run in the way of Allah. Run in the way of the Prophet ﷺ. Put him priority. And then slowly, step by step, you understand what it means, putting him in priority. What is he putting in priority? Yes, he's serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But he came for the ummah. Now then you start to look, who is the ummah? What is the ummah? You start to look right, left, you start to look up, and you start to look down. You start to understand then. Then you start to have a community. You start to become better ones running for the way of Haqq. Otherwise, don't sell this Ramazan cheap. Don't sell it cheap. Don't just say, I'm praying to ask just for this dunya, just for my ease. No. You're asking for akhirat, you're asking for Allah's mercy, the dunya comes with it anyway. Yeah. But when you talk about cleaning ourselves up permanently, nothing is going to clean it permanently other than to pass from this world for the sake of Allah. To give up your life for the sake of Allah. Yes. What the word is that so many are afraid to say these times, jihad. To struggle in the way of Allah. To struggle in the way of Allah, pulling a sword, physically it is a small jihad. The bigger jihad is to struggle against your nafs. This is what we are doing. Struggling against our nafs. And we hope that Allah takes our life. When death comes, we are still engaging in the fight against our nafs. Understand? How, in a way, it is very huge, but in another way, it is very simple. The end of their ways is the beginning of ours. Inshallah Rahman, may we live and may we die for the sake of Allah. Like what we are saying, especially in the Shafi'i Mazhab, the dua that they say before they recite the Fatiha, which is taken from the Quran Al-Karim. Bismillah ar-Rahman. Inna salati wa nuhsuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen. My prayers, my ibadat, my life and my death is only for Allah. If you really believe in this, not just reciting with very nice Arabic, but really you are believing in this, then impossible you're not going to wake up to say, I'm saying these words that I'm living today for the sake of Allah. But what have I done for the sake of Allah today? You cannot do so many things, but you can fight against your ego. You can say, my ego wants me to do this wrong thing, and I struggle and I fight and I win for the sake of Allah. That you can say. And this Ramazan, it is nothing but fighting against our ego. Inshallah, may be blessed. May Allah forgive me and bless you, inshallah Rahman. And all those who are sincere. All other ones, may they come back to their senses. May fitnah leave our association. May we continue with our caravan, although there are so many dogs barking. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the himmat. May the Prophet grant us the himmat. May Shaykh Lokman grant us the himmat. May Sahib al-Sahib grant us the himmat to continue and to be successful, inshallah. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. Al-Fatiha. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.